The sunset bathed Melrose Avenue in gold, casting long shadows across vintage thrift shops and neon cafes. Inside a small indie music lounge, the Friday night crowd murmured beneath soft lights, espresso in hand, phones momentarily forgotten. The lights dimmed. A single spotlight found her. Zoya Rivera, 17, stood at the mic, a delicate frame, olive skin, her voice rose, soft yet unmistakably fierce, like silk with fire stitched in. Offstage, Zoya was quiet and reflective, raised by her aunt in a modest East Hollywood apartment. She was homeschooled, focused, and devoted to old soul vinyls and legends long gone. While others scrolled TikTok or hit open mics hoping to get noticed, Zoya practiced in her aunt's garage, surrounded by posters of Etta James and Alicia Keys. But Friday nights were hers. As long as she kept straight A's, her aunt let her sing, under curfew, under watchful eyes. That night, Zoya closed with a stripped-down version of River. The last note hung in the air. A clause erupted like thunder. Zoya Rivera stepped off stage, heart pounding, cheeks flushed. The crowd buzzed in the background. A man in his 40s approached, stylish in a gray designer suit.
Zoya, right?
He smiled.
That voice, that doesn't come around often.
She nodded cautiously.
I'm Mason Ray, A&R for Nova Sound Music. You've probably heard of us.
Zoya blinked. Yeah, you represent Sky Nyla, Jamal Vance too. He nodded, amused.
We're always scouting for the next voice. I think that might be you.
He motioned to a booth. 5 minutes, no pressure. Inside, he slid a folder across the table. Recording deal, signing bonus, studio schedule. Zoya's hands trembled as she flipped through the pages.
Is this real?
You earned it. But there's one thing we need to talk about.
She looked up.
The hair?
He said plainly. It's long, it's classic, but it doesn't sell anymore. She frowned. I don't understand.
We need something bold. Something that makes people stop scrolling. Think shaved sides. Think statement. Something fearless.
Zoya instinctively touched her hair. That's a lot. Mason didn't blink.
This industry moves fast. You either evolve or you vanish.
But my hair's part of who I am.
He tapped the contract.
People forget voices, but an image, that stays. This is the only shot I might ever get. Girls like me don't get a second chance. Maybe I have to burn something to rise.
And slowly,
Good though.
she nodded. The next morning, a black SUV pulled up in front of her apartment. Zoya climbed in without a word. Mason was juggling 2 phones, mid-call, barely glancing up. He handed her an iced matcha and nodded. 20 minutes later, they pulled up, not to a glam studio, but a quiet barbershop tucked into a Silver Lake side street. No name, just a sun-faded red and white pole spinning lazily in the breeze. Zoya squinted.
This doesn't look like Nova Sound's glam team.
We're not doing glam, Mason said, stepping out. We're doing clean, strong, unforgettable. She hesitated in her seat.
I thought it was going to be a pixie cut, something softer.
Pixies are yesterday, he said. We need impact, viral clips, cover photos.
You said pixie, not this. You lied.
I didn't lie. I just didn't spell it out. You want this career, right? Let's go, Mason said, holding the door. Zoya stepped in slowly. Her sneakers echoed against the tiled floor. The barber, a stoic woman in her 50s with gray buzzed hair, nodded. First time? Zoya gave a faint nod and sat stiffly in the chair. The cape snapped shut around her neck. Her reflection stared back, anxious, too polished, far too unsure. Mason stood behind. Shaved sides, short textured top, buzzed the back clean. The clippers whirred to life. Zoya flinched.
I'm not ready.
She whispered. Mason didn't move. You already said yes. This is the price of next level. She reached for her phone. One call to her aunt and this ends. But her fingers froze. This was her choice now. Or at least, she had told herself that. The barber gently pressed her head forward. The first pass began, at the nape, rising. She stared at the mirror, her eyes filled with tears, but her lips stayed closed. The sides followed, bare skin exposed beneath the blades. In minutes, her signature look was gone. The clippers fell silent. Zoya looked up. Her face looked sharper, stronger, and painfully unfamiliar. "This is your era now," Mason said. "You're not local anymore." Zoya didn't speak. She just raised her hand and touched the bare skin above her ear. 3 days later, Zoya's debut music video dropped. Shot in black and white, no backdrop, no filters, just her face in close-up, the light catching the freshly shaved head, her voice raw and unpolished. The video went viral overnight. #ShavedForSound trended on TikTok. A fan reaction clip hit 2 million views in 24 hours. She shaved it all and sang like nothing else mattered. Iconic. Zoya exploded into a phenomenon. Talk shows, magazine covers. Rolling Stone called her Gen Z's fearless feminist voice. The first cover photo, a close-up of her shaved head and defiant eyes, minimalist, sharp. The headline praised her as bold, brave, unforgettable. But behind the curated image, reality felt very different. The schedule was brutal. Weekly head shaves, endless press junkets, interviews scripted to the syllable. The image was everything. "Don't let the hair grow patchy," her stylist warned before a photo shoot. Zoya smiled for the cameras, but the eyes around her started to grow colder. Some fans embraced the new look. Others turned away. She looked better before, trying too hard. The label insisted she keep the shaved look. "It's your brand now." But inside, Zoya felt something slipping away. The voice was still there, but the girl behind it was fading.
By month 5, the buzz had dulled, in every sense. Zoya's second single tanked. The comments turned sharp. Is she still bald? Was it just a stunt? Meme pages mocked her. Side-by-side edits with cartoon characters flooded her mentions. She tried to laugh, but every scroll felt like a paper cut. Her management said nothing. Her publicist finally warned, no more crying on live streams. Zoya felt caged inside an image she no longer believed in. The shaved girl, the rebel icon. But the girl within? She just wanted to regrow, quietly, privately. That night, she stared at her reflection, drained, hollow. The buzz cut that once screamed power now looked like a prison. Zoya left Los Angeles without a sound. No goodbye posts, no announcements. Just a small suitcase, a few plain outfits, and her old headphones, the ones she'd used to record her very first song. She returned to a small Northern California town where her mother had once lived. The fields rolled on for miles. The local radio played slow country songs in the morning. No one there recognized the bald girl from Rolling Stone. To them, she was just Zoya, a soft-spoken girl with tired eyes and a voice that made you pause mid-coffee. She took a job at a small cafe, taught music to kids after school, and in between, she sang again. Her hair began to grow back. In her grandfather's dusty garage, she found her new stage. No lights, no filters, just a second-hand mic, a scratched-up camera, and a voice still trying to heal. She launched a YouTube channel, Garage Evenings. A week later, a comment popped up. "Zoya, is it really you? I followed you during the #ShavedForSound era. I didn't know you could sound even more real now." She typed back, "It's still me, just without the noise this time." One warm June evening, Zoya recorded a cover of Jolene. She slowed it down, sang it like a whisper, like truth wrapped in melody. Her shoulder-length hair curled gently in the breeze drifting through the window. She posted it, no expectations. 2 weeks later, it hit 500,000 views. A pinned comment read, "I didn't expect to cry tonight, but here we are. Thank you, Zoya." More messages followed. Collabs, podcast invites, indie radio airplay.
Reading the comments from her fans, Zoya felt empowered. She remembered the days at the entertainment company, where she was like a toy for Mason. Zoya's face turned serious. It was time to expose them, so no one else would make the same mistake she did. Zoya had never imagined she would be here, standing before the camera and sharing the truth with the world. Over the years, she had played the role others expected, smiling, singing, building an image that wasn't her own. She thought following their rules, doing what they asked, was enough. But deep down, she realized something was missing. She had lost herself, bit by bit, in the expectations of others.
They told me I had to change. I had to look different, act different. But I realized they didn't care about me. They only cared about the image I created. I had lived in their shadow for too long.
In that live stream, Zoya didn't just confront the company. She confronted herself, the girl who had been forced to hide behind an image, the girl who was told what to do, how to act, what to look like. But now she had let go of the weight of their expectations. Zoya was speaking her truth, and in doing so, she found a strength she never knew she had, a strength that came from within.